Hello everyone, this is Sai Kumar. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you what all technologies and what all programming languages that you should learn to become a very good Java developer. The first thing that you should learn is JSE, which stands for Java Standard Edition. So most of the people call this as core Java. Yes, it is called as core Java because the concepts of Java, the core concepts of Java are present in this Java Standard Edition. But technically, we should not call it as core Java, we should call it as Java Standard Edition. According to Oracle, it is not core Java, it is Java Standard Edition. What happens if I learn Java Standard Edition? The first important thing is you will be knowing what are the core concepts of Java first. Then you will be, once you know those concepts, once you get perfect in using those concepts in real time, then you'll be able to develop an application. So what kind of application I can develop? So you can develop desktop applications. You can develop desktop applications such as Adobe Reader, a VLC media player. These kind of applications you can develop using JSE. Alright, what after JSE? So you should learn a technology called as JDBC. JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. It stands for Java Database Connectivity. What is the main use of Java Database Connectivity? So there are some situations where you want to store some data. So if you want to store some data, most probably you will be using a database. So here, whatever the data generated by your application, if you want to store that data directly into the database, and if your application is developed using Java, then using JDBC I can directly connect to my database and I can store the data and I can retrieve the data from the database. Not only storing and retrieving, whatever the operations that you can do directly with your database, the same you can do with JDBC. So you must learn JDBC in order to connect to the database. So without database connectivity, we do not find any applications nowadays. Alright, what after JDBC? And what are the advantages of learning JDBC? So I'll be letting you know what are the advantages of JDBC. Alright, after JDBC, you should go with servlets. So servlets come under JEE, which stands for Java Enterprise Edition. So generally this Java Enterprise Edition had been introduced in order to develop enterprise applications. We can say web applications or business applications like online banking. These kind of applications you can develop by learning Java Enterprise Edition. So the first technology that you should learn is servlets. So using servlets I can develop web applications. I can develop a very good web application by using servlets. Then there comes JSP. So there are some disadvantages that you find in servlets. Okay, simple example, it's not a disadvantage, but okay, let's take an example. I have an application which I have developed using servlets in 20 days. The same application, let's say not 20 days, it will take hours. I have developed it in some 60 hours. So I can develop the same application with same features in 30 hours by using JSP. Okay, so even I can use JSP for developing web applications. Okay, so you should be very good at servlets in JSP in order to learn the further technologies. To be frank, nowadays the industry is not using servlets in JSP. So they are not developing the applications using servlets in JSP. Okay, then what is the use of learning servlets in JSP? Yes, there's a lot of use for you. I'll let you know. Fine. Next. Now I think you have most heard about frameworks. You have mostly heard about frameworks. Now nowadays, if you take any company, if they are developing any Java application, they are developing the application by using frameworks. So no framework, no application nowadays. Alright, what are the different frameworks that I should learn? you should learn JSF, which stands for Java Server Faces. Using this Java Server Faces, you can develop a very good user interface. An awesome interface you can develop using Java Server Faces. So technically speaking, to develop the presentation layer, I have to learn JSF. Okay, and along with this, you can learn struts, even though it is outdated, but still, if you learn struts, then other presentation layer frameworks, you'll find it better and easy. Okay, so just go with struts. Yes, this is also is used for presentation layer. Next comes as you should learn Hibernate. So nowadays Hibernate is popular, it is mostly used. So we have to use Hibernate in order to deal with your data access layer. So the prerequisite to learn JSF is servlets and JSP. If you don't have any idea about servlets and JSP, it is very difficult for you to learn JSF. Okay, JSF as well as struts. And the prerequisite to learn Hibernate is JDBC. Because no JDBC, no Hibernate. There are some disadvantages. With JDBC. Those disadvantages we can overcome by using Hibernate. Simple example: I have developed an application using JDBC. I'll be connecting to Oracle database now. So after some days, I want to shift to MySQL database according to my client requirement. Let's say I have 250 pages, in which 180 pages have the database logic code. So what I should do is I should change those 180 pages now. That is what the problem with JDBC. And one more thing is I have to create the tables according to the database. Let's say if it is MySQL, then I have to create the tables according to MySQL database. Again, if I'm shifting from MySQL database to Sybase database, then again I have to change all my pages. So that becomes very tidy, and it becomes very complex for the people, for the developers, to maintain the application with JDBC. So the people, they started working on JDBC and they have found these many drawbacks, and we have got a new framework called as Hibernate, using which we can solve these problems. So once you learn JDBC, you can directly go with Hibernate, but it is suggested, it is recommended that once you learn this presentation layer, then you can go with Hibernate. Okay, or you can go with business layer called as Spring. Now most of the applications use Spring. So to develop your business layer, you can use Spring framework. Okay, but the fact remains same, that using Spring you can develop a complete application. That means you can develop your business layer, you can develop data access layer also. So we have some other modules in Spring framework, like Spring MVC, Spring DAO. Okay, by learning them, you can you can develop a complete web application or a complete business application by using Spring itself. But most of the companies use JSF, Hibernate, Spring. So we'll be integrating JSF, Hibernate and Spring to develop a very good application. So these are the things that you should learn, and along with this you should learn web services. Nowadays web services is mandatory. So what actually web services? So let's say I have two different applications of two different technologies or of same technologies. If they want to share some data, there must be a connection between them. So to provide the communication between those two applications of different technologies or of same technologies, we can use web services. We have two types of web services. One is SOAP web service and REST web services. SOAP and RESTful. So you can learn this SOAP and RESTful. Okay, now So after learning these things, you should develop some applications by your own. Okay, so that you'll get more and more knowledge about these frameworks. When you apply them in real time, then only you'll be knowing what is the main essence of a particular concept, what is the real use of a particular concept. Okay, so first you have to learn, I'm just recollecting now, first you have to learn JSC, then you have to learn JDBC, then go for servlets, then JSP, then JSF, then you can go parallelly JSF and struts, or you can first go for JSF, then struts, then go for Spring, then go for Hibernate, or then go for Hibernate, or then go for Spring. Then after that you go with web services. Okay, along with this you should go with some other tools of Java, such as you have to go with Maven, you have to go with Ant, you can go with Log4j, and very important module or very important tool that we'll be using, okay, is known as JUnit. So JUnit is generally used for testing purpose, testing of your application. Okay, I think you have heard about test driven development. So this test driven development is possible with JUnit. So you must learn JUnit also. Alright, thanks for watching this video.